Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Garage Rock, the podcast. My name is Cam, and as per usual, I'm here with Uncle Steve. How are you this evening?
I'm exhausted. How are you, Cam?
You look exhausted. I'm great. I'm still pumped from last night.
Yes.
I made myself a little promise. For those that don't know,
Yes.
and you probably won't because we haven't said yet, but
Yes, go on.
we went and saw Grinspoon at the Forum in Melbourne last night.
Fantastic
and the show.
Oh.
Absolutely went off.
Oh, yeah. We'll get onto that a bit later, Cam.
Yes, but
yeah.
Steve didn't get the day off from work the next day, and I did. So I'm feeling quite fresh, even though I just gave my kids some music lessons tonight.
Oh, really?
Yes, we've started them back up again.
How'd that go?
Really good.
Yeah?
My daughter can play a full 4/4 rock beat on drums now,
Fantastic.
and doing it quite well, actually. Keeping in time and quite solid, and my son's learning guitar, and it's going well. As you know, guitar's not an easy thing to learn, especially from someone who doesn't know how to play
Exactly.
properly like myself. But I'm going to get into a certain stage where he develops enough bad habits that someone else can get him out of them.
He's your problem now.
Yeah.
You fix that. Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, you're kind of self-taught on the guitar yourself?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've got a lot of mates that play guitar, and they've given me lessons and helped me out. But yeah, obviously you do as much as you can by yourself.
Exactly.
But I sort of got to a stage, and then life got in the way.
Yes.
The children.
As it always does.
Yeah.
And now, come full circle, you're spending your spare time teaching them what you wanted to learn yourself.
Yeah, it's good to try and remember some of that stuff. But anyway, Steve,
Just careful of the mic.
just hit the microphone out of the way. So you're a bit delirious, or what's going on with you? You a bit
I'm on
tired?
about 2 hours sleep, and also because the show was so loud, which we're going to get onto a bit later on, but the show was so loud, my left ear was completely blocked and ringing up until, it's been about 24 hours now, and it's probably been about 3 or 4 hours. It sort of went away in the past few hours.
I'm scared that your eardrum's going to burst like it did for me last year. That was fucking painful.
Well, fingers crossed it doesn't happen. So if I sound a bit... I'm going to need you to really drive this show.
Oh, no, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, for those that want to know,
yes.
send us your new music.
Yes, of course. We've got new music.
We have an email.
Yes.
As you know, it's garagerockpodcast@gmail.com.
Don't forget it.
We're also on Facebook, Instagram with the handle @garagerockpodcast.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, I'm doing good. Steve, have a little nap. I don't need you right now.
Okay.
Shh. Like we were saying, we've got heaps to talk about this week. So we've got festival announcements, question of the week segment.
Yes, of course.
Which is a good one. We've had a good response yet again. So thank you so much, everyone, for that.
I'm going to be completely honest. I thought it was a shit question in retrospect.
Yeah, what is your guilty pleasure music?
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting much of a reaction, but everyone has a bit of a guilty pleasure. I think it's sort of the thing,
Very pleasurable.
Kind of feel good to be guilty.
Yeah.
And of course, we've got a few reviews as well, because we've been busy little bees
Absolutely.
with gigs and the what, and the what,
And the what, and the when, and the how.
and the who.
Oh, no, we didn't see them.
Oh man, Steve.
Sorry, yes, go on.
You have a little bit of an apology.
On behalf of the both of us, but it's mainly my fault.
I blame you.
Yeah, well, it is my fault. We were supposed to be at the Yours and Ours Festival in Wollongong. However, 2 days before the event, I ended up in hospital. So couldn't. It was sort of advised, do not road trip 9 hours to go to a music festival for the weekend and camp.
So once again, Steve's letting the team down.
It's always me.
You lazy bugger, you're just too busy lapping it up in a hospital bed with all these hot nurses around you.
Definitely not, but just a lot of wires on me and stuff like that. So,
and are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay
damn it.
now, but yeah, I was sick for a little week. There was a little touch and go there. Not that bad actually, but yeah.
I think you've run yourself down. You've been working so hard and doing all this stuff. it's just you've run yourself into the ground. I'm going to have to start looking after you better, I think.
Well, healthy choice is looking after yourself, and I think I might have to do that myself.
Yes, Dad, I am looking after myself.
Yeah, I'm checking in with my dad every couple of hours and letting him know I'm looking after myself. But no, so we want to apologise to Yours Nows because they gave us a couple of VIP passes, which we appreciate, and also a Secret Service PR who started arranging interviews for us as well, and unfortunately had to give them a call and say, we can't
They
go.
have been absolute legends and very supportive
Over
of
the
us.
years,
And we honestly do appreciate it, and we do apologise. But moving on, Steve,
Not making a habit of it, Cam.
let's make it up by doing a few reviews of some of the stuff that we have been doing.
Well, that's it. Now, before we get into the gigs, because there have been a couple of gigs we did, we're going to do a little bit of a movie review.
Steve went and saw a movie.
That's it. I actually went to see 2 movies in the space of a couple of days. I was full of popcorn after that, but the actual and
That's why you're sick.
That's
why your ears popping.
all the butter. Before I go into the movie one, which was the Metallica S&M 2 or Squared,
If you
as it was
will.
if I will, I just wanted. I'm going to be one of those people. I want to bring up Joker. Joker is an awesome film.
It's
Cam,
good. So
it's
I'm
good.
hearing mixed reviews.
Are
I haven't
you?
seen it yet, but do you recommend it? What are we talking?
I reckon Joaquin Phoenix is amazing. The
Yeah.
acting, the story, some of it I found a bit predictable. I was kind of like, oh, I bet that's going to happen, and it did happen, kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
the acting is amazing. He'll get an Oscar nod for that. Whether he'll get an actual Oscar or just a nominee, but it's amazing.
I've always liked him as an actor as well, and he's
Yeah.
already got a scar on his face, so that's kind of fitting for Joker.
I
You never
didn't even
noticed
notice.
the scar?
No, yeah, kind of. I was sitting between 2 couples, so this was the thing. I was sitting next to 2 women who were part of couples who didn't want to be there. Neither of them wanted to be there, and
They didn't want to be next to you or at the movie.
I think it was both.
Oh.
I think it was a case of both.
The
But
trifecta.
yeah, there we go. But yeah, there's one scene in Arthur's apartment, and the 2 women just were like, "No, fuck this, I'm out," and they both left.
Oh, really?
They left. Yeah, it gets a bit.
Man,
yeah.
I don't care how bad the movie is. I always stick it out to the end.
No, it was
And
more
the movie too.
It was more the I think it was they couldn't handle it.
Oh, too much.
Yes,
Okay.
it wasn't like bad.
So quite brutal.
It was, there's one scene, yeah,
Gory?
a little bit. Depends on what.
How did
yeah,
you go
yeah.
with that? Because you don't normally like gory movies.
I don't like horror films. Cam.
Yeah.
I don't like, but this was more suspense,
Okay.
and a bit of thriller and all that kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
all psychological stuff. It's good and well acted, and yeah. Then a couple of nights later,
Yes.
speaking of people who are off the rails, I went to see Metallica. The Metallica S&M 2, the 20th anniversary of their first performance with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, just quickly, Steve. I saw watched a movie the other night on Netflix, and I said, that looks like James Hetfield from Metallica.
Yes.
And it was.
It was.
I looked it up. I watched that Ted Bundy movie,
Yep,
extremely wicked, shockingly evil and vile.
Yes.
And it certainly was. It was a different sort of movie, but I couldn't believe James was in it. That was awesome.
Yeah, I've seen it too. I didn't pick James.
You didn't pick him?
I
I
was too wound up in High School Musical guys.
Oh, Zac
performance.
Efron.
Zac Efron.
What a great
as-
job he did.
yeah.
This isn't a movie review podcast, but
no, we should. Yeah.
nah,
sorry, but
fuck it. We're having fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, I said to my wife, that's
Zac
That's
Efron.
James from that's James Hetfield from Metallica. She's like, is it? I'm like, she normally picks them. She picks them all. I said, you normally get it. And she's like, that's music. That's your department.
Ah.
So there you go. One up for me.
Congratulations, Cam.
Thank you very sweetly
Not a
for
problem.
doing it so neatly. Now, how was it, Steve?
S&M, very good. It's an interesting thing. I think it had some ups and downs. There were some songs that were really good. They opened it very similar to the original one with the same sort of opening tracks, Call of Cthulhu exactly, and they also had it was just a much larger scale. They had these screens above the stage that were like halos, if you'd call it.
Oh,
like
right, yes.
like these round screens, which were really cool, and I thought that they had some good effects through them. The set list though, it's really crucial, I guess, and some songs worked, some songs didn't really work. There was a new song, it came out a few years ago called The Day That Never Comes. which sounded awesome. I turned to my mate who went there, and before I could say, that was fucking awesome, he said to me, that was fucking awesome. I was just like, yeah, that one really was. And then there are a few that they played off their most recent album, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, that didn't really work, or parts of them didn't work. But then, they ended the show with, like, Enter Sandman 1, Wherever I May Roam, Master of Puppets, like, go with the heavy hitters.
Just got the big boys out there at the end.
Absolutely. And, nothing else matters. So, yeah, and they were awesome. In the middle, they kind of had, like, just some symphony stuff without the band.
So completely instrumental, just the symphony just rocking out.
Yeah, and look, I mean, it was all right. Like, it's good music, but it kind of dragged a bit in the middle, I thought.
How long did it go for?
2.5 arse-numbingly long hours sitting in that chair.
Do you think it filled a void because of their recently cancelled Australian tour?
No. The thing is, it's like, because this is the last gig that they've played since this break because of James's, his rehabilitation, which is completely understandable, and I get it, and I wish, I'm sure both of us wish James all the best.
Oh, for sure.
There are quite a few people who are a bit pissed that Metallica have started announcing festival dates in the States before rescheduling, and
they're banking up their 2020 already. There are rumours that they're going to reschedule Australia next year, but nothing's been confirmed.
Yeah, I can see why people are pissed, but at the same time, if you want to schedule a festival in the middle of a field, in the middle of a showgrounds or something like that, no one else is booking the showgrounds, and you can have it for the one weekend, and then you just put the bands on top. For something like a national tour where they're going to come to one country and play at different cities each night, they have to have the venues available on those certain nights.
That's
and
a lot of organisation,
that there's no clashes. And so say, for example, in Melbourne, they were playing 2 nights at Marvel Stadium.
Yeah.
The time that they were going to do that was going to fit between the Aussie Rules and the A-League and the Big Bash. It was this good little area that they had to put concerts there, because U2 are doing a concert around the same time as well. Now that it's been cancelled, they have to fit it in amongst, the AFL own the stadium. So you've got to fit it within their schedule, and also around the A-League and the Big Bash, and that's just to cover one city, and then you need to not have to wait another month for Sydney to be available as well.
And
they
let's
all
not
have to
forget about other tours that might be happening, or whatever that might be happening at the time. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Hard to schedule. So
did you have a ticket for that?
I did not. Slipknot have come out and said that they've got to reschedule as well now because the tour's not happening. So they want to come out. They wouldn't be playing stadiums, but
we'll see them at Download.
There we go. Hey, maybe.
I have a strong feeling that might be the case, but you never know.
Here we go. You heard it here first.
Slipknot and System. Done.
Oh, there we go. Done. Who'd headline? Last time they did Soundwave together, System headlined. It was the two of them.
Yeah, I'd reckon System.
Yeah, there we go. You heard it here again.
Because what I say fucking goes.
But now we do have a couple of concert reviews. Which one do we want to do first, Cam? I'll let you pick.
Well, let's go last night because it was so nice and fresh.
Yes.
So fresh that Steve hasn't slept since.
Pretty much.
We saw Grinspoon doing their Chemical Heart tour at the Forum, one of the best venues in Melbourne to see a band. Absolutely iconic venue, best sound. And geez, they put on a great show, didn't they, Steve?
Fucking loud. It was a very loud show, Cam.
Like a lot of classics as well that I didn't think they'd play. Like they played Just Ace, which they didn't play that for a long time at a lot of shows.
Yeah.
So I was excited to see that, obviously, but they just blew me away.
Yeah.
They are so freaking just spot on and tight. Mm-hmm. And I did ask you, it's all the original members as well since day dot.
Same band.
It shows, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. The chemistry on stage is fantastic, and the crowd. It's interesting because the crowd has aged a bit, as have we.
Oh no!
It was an interesting crowd. We ran into our friend Amy and her brother Paul.
Yeah,
and,
it was good to rock out with them.
And a fight broke out, and right in front of us.
There's always one dickhead, isn't there?
Oh, there's several. There's many. I'm usually him I'm usually in the mosh pit when it happens. So it's everyone's fair game.
Yeah,
I need to clarify. I don't punch on people in the mosh pits. I just jump around like a dick, like everyone else in there. But
there was 2 losers there last night. But you overcome it. You got to expect that shit sometimes.
Yep.
But how cool was they had literally had everything. Like obviously Phil Jamieson, great frontman, perfect frontman, such a showman.
Yep.
Puts on a great show, not only just his singing, but his just stage presence, his prancing around, flamboyant behaviour, if you will.
Yes, definitely.
They had sort of like little fireworks and at the end when all the sparklers were coming down and
like raining sparklers.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And our mature minds, what were they thinking? Oh, I hope that doesn't ruin the drum kit or the guitars or something.
Exactly. It's shown how we're grown up. We are going, that might cause some damage to the drums.
And Amy said that at the end, because the sparklers were at the end, that there was a jumper on fire on stage.
Yeah, someone threw their jumper on the stage and then the jumper caught fire with all the sparks that ran down on. And that was actually on the Grinspoon Instagram page.
Oh, they put it on there?
They put it on there. Like someone filmed it and they released it. But the thing I found, which was cool for me, is we're approaching next month is the 20th anniversary of their second album, Easy.
Yep.
Their last album, they did a national tour of their 20th anniversary of Guide to Better Living, their debut album, one of my favourite Australian album of all time, kids.
Of all time.
But they weren't going to do a national tour to redo Easy, but they did a couple of Easy songs that they don't play, some album tracks.
You wouldn't normally hear that.
This is awesome. Probably haven't played them since the Easy tour, so that was really cool for me because I've seen them close to 20 times.
Yeah.
So there were some songs that I hadn't heard them play live, which was really cool to see. But I have to say, Cam, lights. There were so many lights. It was such a huge light show, and they were strobing. Yeah, I'd hate to be an epileptic because the lights were going crazy.
And there was one point I felt like I was going to have a fit.
There was one point I was overwhelmed with the lights too. And then they dropped the backdrop, and there was more lights behind the backdrop, and they just went even more. It's like, wow, they're going overkill with the lights. But fantastic show. There are still some dates left on their Chemical Hearts tour. I implore you to go if you've not seen Grinspoon in a long time, which they've been on hiatus. Definitely a chance to go.
You won't be disappointed.
Absolutely not.
And Steve, we do have to say thank you to the lovely ladies at On the Map PR for giving us the passes to the gig. It's worth its weight in gold. We can't thank you enough for that, and also the opportunity for the interview that we did with Pat.
Yes, that was a couple of months ago. If you're a Grinspoon fan, go back and have a listen to that, talking about the upcoming tour that is now come. That is now present. It's coming all over the place. So make sure you get yourself a ticket.
Because no matter what happens, all there is and all there ever will be is here and now, Steve.
Thank you very much, Reverend Banfield. Now... we do have to talk about another gig that we went to a couple of nights earlier in Frankston. We went to see Jebediah and UMI.
Yeah, good old Jebediah Springfield and AMU.
Yes, Jebediah are named after Jebediah Springfield.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
There's a few bands that are named after Simpsons characters. You got Fall Out Boy.
Of course.
Evergreen Terrace.
Yes.
Millhouse.
Is Millhouse?
That's not a band.
There is a Ned Flanders...
metal
cover band called O'Killy Dokilly.
And they all dress as him.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Definitely look that up. But,
Jebediah, they've been doing this, and UMI, obviously, a long time. Like Grinspoon, they just know how to rock out tight as on stage, and stage presence. They just know how to do it. You can see why these bands stick around for so long and have a loyal fan base constantly over 20 years. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, this was one of those gigs. I did go up to the front. We split up. Like we did with DZ Death Rays. You were at the back.
Steve got excited.
I got excited.
He left me.
Just flitted right to the front.
I like to stand to the back, to the left-ish, to the left.
God.
And you can still see everything.
Yeah.
I don't have to get 10,000 people sweat on me. And
Yeah, actually, I did that for Grinspoon, which was like the first time I've ever left a Grinspoon without other people's sweat on me. I actually just stood there last night because I was still too sore. But yeah, it was the thing with I had an interesting incident at the front.
Just want to say on the record that Frankston's a freaking awesome place, and don't let these stories deter you.
Yes.
Steve, Frankston slags.
Yes. So standing at the front, and there was this woman who came up to like the left of me, and I don't know if I'd ever really smelt what a meth addict smelt like before, but I have an idea now. She was pretty rancid, and so Jebediah have walked out and they're playing now. Frankston, the Pier Live, the Pier Band Room is the home of the rotating dance floor, isn't it, Cam?
Certainly is,
exactly.
Stephen.
It takes us back to the 21st century nightclub that used to be there.
Yep.
And anyway, so we're playing Jebediah's playing. They're up on stage and they finish the first song, and this chick just comes up and it's just like, Kevin, turn the dance floor on. Come, Kevin. And then he's just
Kevin
like,
Mitchell, the singer from Jebediah.
of course. And then he's just like rocked into the next song, and she's just like, oh, fuck you. And she's walked off. And then I've got this other woman next to me who I could only sort of describe as like the drunk 50-year-old auntie at a wedding when Bohemian Rhapsody comes on. She's kind of just like, yeah, and she's doing like the shoulder to shoulder action.
Yeah,
that kind of bop, but very
Now
very
that's
into
the
it.
old person at the gig. Like if you see someone doing any side to side movements at a gig or a festival, they're the old. I don't think we're there yet, Steve.
We're not there yet, and there's nothing wrong with being old at a festival.
No, not at all.
No, but she had no idea about any of their songs. But as soon as the song's finished, she'd be screaming louder than anyone else. She was shrieking in my ear, and then they played a lot of their classics, did some really cool songs, and then they did Harpoon towards the end.
Like a harpoon in my heart.
Kevin
Promised
said,
I wouldn't sing anymore. Broke that promise.
Broke the promise. Kevin said, all right, everyone, when you're standing there, put your arm around someone next to you and
Oh, no.
and sing this. And I thought, oh, Christ.
She didn't.
Yes, wrapped around me. The 50-year-old auntie from she's just like, I'm going to love this song. And I'm just like, oh, my God. And then the next thing I know, there's another arm wrapped around my other side.
Oh, it's not.
Turn the fucking dance floor on. Turn the floor on, Kevin. I was like, just turn the fucking dance floor on. And that was it. She just kept going backwards and forwards throughout the whole night, just wanting the dance floor.
Because I don't have songs to worry about to play or remember words and how to play them. And my main priority is to suit your needs of having a dance floor put on that revolves
during my set.
that is actually probably more disruptive to our set. Why do you think Body Jar and 28 Days put it on at the end of the night as a novelty?
Exactly. And I don't even think they had a say in it. It just happened.
Because people stand up there and watch the band if they want to stand from the back and watch
Exactly.
up high.
Not
They don't want to
rotate
turn
around.
around. It's like band, wall, toilets, bar, band,
Junkie. Junkie requesting that this bin turn up faster. So you didn't get that riff-raff at the
I
back.
didn't see any of that. No. I missed all that. I was just around a bunch of real nice, respectable Frankstonians. It was great.
Yes.
They didn't turn the dance floor on, though.
They did not.
So they turned it on for 28 days because they're a Frankston band.
Yeah, I think that's probably the key.
They probably have the key
They probably do
to
have
the dance
key.
floor.
Played
Yeah.
there enough times. And then Uami.
Oh, mate. Where do we start? Like, I hadn't seen them since a day on the green when the Living End played a few years ago.
Yeah.
That was a messy day, but brilliant.
Yeah.
They don't disappoint again.
Never do.
Tim Rogers, what he wore
Yeah, it was
just screams rock and roll and Rhonda Birchmore. But Jesus,
Red Hot and Rhonda.
Yeah.
Red Hot and Rogers.
Davey Lane was just having a great time, wasn't he?
Davey Lane was on fire. Their
He was,
guitarist,
wasn't he?
he was just moving all over the place. He was having an absolute ball.
It's sort of like You know how you see a sportsman go out into a field and you can just see that
They're having one of those days.
and they're just in the zone.
Absolutely.
They're just in the zone. It's like they've captured a way of doing that. And when they go on stage, they're just in the zone. Nothing else matters apart from exactly what they're doing, whether they're playing drums, guitar, singing. It's just belted out with pure passion.
Yeah.
And it just comes across to you. You just feel it, don't you, Steve?
Yeah, and look, their set list was awesome. I think like a third of it was an interesting set list. They played like a third of their set was from their album Convicts, which isn't like one of their biggest albums, but it was like, this is awesome because I love that album. And they played like a third of the tracks was from that, which is great. And also their second album, Hi-Fi Way, they played a lot of tracks from that, a lot of the classics, and it was just a really good set list that I enjoyed.
I was a bit disappointed about something though, Steve.
What's this, Cam?
Well, you didn't get up and sing this time. You didn't get up and sing Berlin Chair like last time.
No, I didn't. I was.
They didn't pull anyone up on stage this time.
No pulling up because they had a barrier there, and
fair enough.
They didn't want to get requests to turn the dance floor on, obviously.
And you didn't want to show them up again, I suppose.
Well, that is true.
Fair enough.
Exactly. One of the things though that is interesting, and it didn't matter if you were the 50-year-old auntie standing next to me, the heavily sedated meth addict that was, perched up against me, or or one of the with a 18, 20, 30, whatever. Nearly all of the women in the crowd wanted to fuck Tim Rogers. When a song would finish, you would just hear random women from all around the crowd and men just shout out, "I want to fuck you, Tim Rogers." They loved him. He moves
it's
like
sex appeal, man. That's
sex
appeal, man.
I'm going to be honest. He's not the most attractive man out there.
Yeah.
He's got the big schnoz.
He's a funny looking chap.
But
we're no oil painting.
Exactly. Oh, by all means. But he even said, he's just like, it doesn't matter how ugly you are, you can always be a rock star or something. It's just like, and that he always sort of champions that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter what you do, just pick up an instrument. Yeah.
Don't we? Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. The way he moves, the ladies absolutely love it.
I mean, could you imagine us wearing a long red... What would you call it? A jump? Not a jumpsuit.
It's not a jumpsuit. It's kind of a cross between the jumpsuit and the puffy shirt from Seinfeld. Yes. It was very much like that, and it was drenched in sweat. But the way he moves on stage and his legs and his hips and everything,
sexy, man.
Absolutely. The ladies love a bit of Tim Rogers.
I'd turn. Anyway, awesome gig.
Yes,
great. What?
They've still got plenty of shows as well on their tour.
Yeah, make sure you go
playing
check
together. So yeah, head up UMI and Jebediah's website and check out the dates. But yeah, you were saying?
I was just saying it's absolutely brilliant how we've just seen just those
in
three
the
bands alone just rocking out. Just imagine if
Spiderbait next month.
Spiderbait, got Gyroscope coming up.
You got Frenzal coming up too.
Frenzal. Who else? Oh, there's the
Metallica. Oh no.
Oh, Metallica. Oh,
no.
Slipknot. Oh no.
Oh damn it.
Oh, that's not happening. Might have to make my own Slipknot then.
Jeez.
Good one, James Hetfield.
This one's on you.
Yeah. I'll drink to that. Off to Never Neverland. Now, Arias, Steve.
Arias, yes. We do have to talk about the ARIA Awards. Australia's Night of Nights. The nominees have been announced for the ARIA Awards, and we would be amiss not to talk about them, wouldn't we, Cam?
That's right, Steve. The ARIAs are happening in Sydney yet again on November 27th.
That's right.
So I'll look forward to see who's going to win some shit.
Exactly. Couldn't have put it better myself.
Well, what else are you going to do there,
That's absolutely right, Cam. So let's go through some of the nominees for... let's start off with the Best Rock Album, Cam.
Yes, Best Rock Album, Steve. And the nominees are Amyl and the Sniffers with Amyl and the Sniffers.
Oh, that's cool.
Holy Holy, My Own Pool of Light.
Yes.
Let's not forget Jimmy Barnes with My Criminal Record.
It'll be criminal not to.
Midnight Oil, Steve.
Oh, yes.
Aussie classic rockers with their Armistice Day live at the Domain in Sydney, that
is a great live album.
It's
I've
awesome.
listened to it a few times. Very nice.
And the last Best Rock Album nominee is Skeggs with My Own Mess.
There we go.
So, yeah, they're getting nominated for their own mess. Well done.
And I think the good thing about that is we've got I mean, we've got a couple of classics there with Jimmy Barnes and, Midnight Oil, a couple of Australian classics. Holy Holy are relatively new, but they've been going around for a few years. And then Amyl and the Sniffers and Skeggs, they're quite new. So there's a good mix of the old and the new.
It's a good
mix.
It is a good mix, and it's good to see a few up-and-comers. Like, I know Skeggs and Holy Holy have been around for a few years now, but obviously not as long as Midnight Oil and Jimmy Barnes. So it's good to see them. Imagine having your band that's been around for a couple of years against those names. That's a bloody good honour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best hard rock heavy metal album, Steve.
Yes.
The nominees are
yes.
Clowns.
You've got that down pat.
Dude, I should present this at the next Arias.
Yeah. Oh, we'll send out an email, see how we go.
Just want to put this out to the Arias. Have your people speak to my people.
GarageRockPodcast@gmail.com.
Dead Letter Circus with their self-titled album Dead Letter Circus, Steve.
Yeah, Dead Letter Circus. I've been kicking goals for several years now.
They certainly have.
Absolutely.
Guess who else, Steve?
DZ.
Death Rays with their Positive Rising Part 1 album.
Yes, good album, Cam.
Clowns, Nature, Nurture.
Yes, we did an interview with Clowns earlier in the year about their new album. I really like that album.
Yeah, go back and check that interview out.
Definitely.
Also got King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Oh, as always.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Infest, the Rat's Nest, and the Rockers, Steve.
Yeah.
We saw it, Good Things.
Yes.
We're going to see it unify. North Lane. With their album Alien. Some good nominees there, Steve.
Absolutely.
I'll be interested to see who comes away with that one because there's some stiff competition right there.
Yeah, true.
What are you thinking? King Gears, Liz Wiz? DZ. Fuck, how good would it be? DZ one.
I'm leaning to... See, I don't think the DZ one is that much of a hard rock heavy metal album. Like, it's harder than their last album, which was up for hard rock heavy metal. They're a rock band.
It's quite a broad...
It is. It's like, North Lane... I'm putting between North Lane and Dead Letter Circus myself. I think. There we go.
It's hard to tell these days, isn't it?
Exactly.
We shall see.
Exactly. And also, Album of the Year, we've got Dean Lewis, A Place We Knew, Hilltop Hoods with The Great Expanse, Rufus Du Sol with Solace, The Teskey Brothers with Run Home Slow, and Thelma Plum with Better in Black.
Plummy.
Yeah. There's also a few categories you can go and vote for as well. So if you head to the ARIA Awards website, you can vote for Song of the Year, Best Video Clip as well, Best Touring Artist. So, yeah, head to the ARIA Awards and have some fun.
You can also vote through TV Week.
Yes. If you got the coupon though.
If you got the coupon.
You need to cut the coupon.
Oh wait, that's the Logies. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of something.
Sorry,
anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on, Cam.
Steve, we've got a few festival announcements.
Do we what?
Now, Steve, let's talk about holy fucking shit. I can't tell you how excited.
Wow. No, I can see you just...
Man, I was so excited about this festival announcement with Hotter Than Hell Festival I'm talking about, Steve.
Yes, yeah.
It's back for 2020 and like I said, it's one hell of a lineup.
I don't think you'd said that.
Huh?
I don't think you'd said that. You just...
Well, like I implied.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, there was definitely implication there.
Yeah, I implicated the implication of the implyment.
The lineup, please, Cam.
Without further ado, I'm talking Everclear, Steve.
Everclear.
Oh, man, I've never seen them live. I've always wanted to, and now I'm going to.
Heartspark $, Cam.
Yes.
Heartspark $.
And, with songs like Santa Monica, there's one about his father that he sings is quite emotional. I really love it. Unwritten Law, Steve.
Oh, well, Unwritten Law.
Love me a bit of Unwritten Law.
You definitely love your Unwritten Law.
Really good friends with Grinspoon.
Yes,
the two bands are very good friends.
The next band's great.
Oh, one of the greats. The greats are playing 19, 20, 20, 19, 20, 20. Every time at work, one of our ratchets is a 1921 ratchet. One side's 19 mil, the other side's 21.
Yeah.
Every time I ask for one, I say, can I please get a 19, 20, 20, 19, 20, 20?
And did they give you the wrong one because it's not 21?
No, they just give me the same reaction you did.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Sorry, I apologise.
No, it's not funny. It's just funny to me, and that's all that matters.
Exactly.
Talking of Frenzal Rhomb.
Yeah.
They're playing.
Yes, Frenzal Rhomb. They're going to be there, are they?
Fucking legends. Yep. Absolute legends. I love those guys so much.
Yeah. The next one, our first interviewee.
The Supper Jesus.
Well, that's a bit later in the night.
The Supper Jesus.
The Super Jesus,
The
perhaps.
Super Jesus. Oh, sorry, I just kicked your micro telephone.
That's fine.
The Super Jesus are playing, which I just missed out on, Acoustic Show by Sarah McLeod. She was playing at the brewery down the road the other day, and I couldn't make it. Would have been freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Saw photos. It looked great. Right in between the hops barrels or whatever they're called. Motor Race are playing, Steve.
Yes, Motor Race.
Cosmic Psychos, Area 7. Love me. Fucking Area 7 ska punk legends. Young Offenders, Chasing Ghost, Axe Girl, and more to be announced. Now, the festival will be held in Adelaide on Saturday 1st of February, Mount Evelyn in Victoria on Saturday, February the 8th, Townsville in Queensland on Saturday, February 15th, and Dunsborough in WA Saturday, February 22nd. Tickets are on sale now, Steve. The pre-sale sold out.
Oh,
Tickets,
already?
Yeah, all sold out. So
Like that.
normal tickets are on sale, and they're actually reasonably priced from what I hear.
Yeah.
Even the VIPs. So go check it out at hotterthanhelltour.com.au for tickets and info.
In fair. Unify Gathering Camp.
Yes, I know. They've finally announced some more shizzle.
Exactly. And that shizzle is a pre-party night on the Thursday before the festival begins, featuring Wind Waker, Honest Crooks, The Gloom in the Corner, Bad Love, Terror, and DJ sets from Tonight Alive and the AM/PM DJs who were there last year. It was a fantastic night to get there just a night early.
I think it might have been my favourite night. I mean, the bands were freaking awesome the other two nights, but the Thursday just has that atmosphere of everyone's there. First night excited.
The first night excitement, I think.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Everyone's sort of just like, you're there, you're excited, and there's music playing, and you're seeing mates, and you don't have to worry about going to work in the morning,
Yep.
and everyone's just relaxed.
fresh.
Everyone's fresh.
They haven't partied for 2 nights.
Exactly.
Like the last night. A
Exactly.
little bit tired, a little grumpy, a little horny.
Exactly. And that's just in our car. Tickets are still on sale now at unifygathering.com if you would like to and if you would like to go
Would you like a cup of Joe?
and a cup of blow. So I don't know why I said blow.
Stick your schnoz in that and that'll wake you up.
It definitely would.
Naughty little Hitler.
Oh God. We've lost the plot, Cap.
The plot has been lost,
Lost.
but let's pick it up again with this week's question of the week.
Exactly, Cap.
And what a response we've had from everyone writing in. So thank you yet again.
Oh, yet again.
If you don't remember, it's the question this week is, what is your guilty pleasure music? Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I don't think any music you should feel guilty for listening to anything.
Exactly.
Which totally contradicts our question this week. But
Exactly, but-
hey, let's have a bit of fun with
Yeah,
it.
we were at a wit's end last week and couldn't think of anything on the spot. So guilty pleasures it was, because we were kind of having a guilty pleasure ourselves because we were both naked.
I reckon everyone has a little bit of something, don't they?
Exactly. Now, I'm not sure if people were being honest with this or if some people were just taking the piss. But some of these answers that we're going to read out, let's have a go. So, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Sean has written in and said, "Strawberry Kisses" by Nikki Webster.
Yeah. See, what I meant by people taking the piss, straight off the bat.
It is catchy. She was on The Masked Singer. Not that I watch it, but
Was
yeah.
she?
Yeah,
Nikki Webster?
she was
Don't have to tell me.
one of them.
They're bringing out all the big guns, aren't they?
Yeah, I know.
Lindsay Lohan.
It's like you just think, yeah, she got a face like a slapped ass.
Actually, Lindsay Lohan, I saw her recently asking for a dance floor to be turned on in Frankston.
Hey, Australia!
Oh, God.
He also said "Eternal Flame" by the Bangles and "Teenager of the Year" by Lotel. I reckon those last two are great songs.
I didn't have an issue with Teenager of the Year. I think was in the film Looking for Ella Brandy.
Yeah.
And the lead singer of Lotel ended up with Pia Miranda from
the actor.
from Looking for Ella Brandy.
Didn't know that.
And also Pia Miranda, because who else was in it? Matthew Newton, and she got out of that film without being beaten. So she did an incredibly good job. She got herself a husband, and she didn't end up in hospital. Congratulations, Pia Miranda.
That's brilliant. And there's a Friends of Rom song in that movie too.
Is there?
Yeah, B-side from their Never Had So Much Fun single.
Oh.
Absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant.
Oh, that was the only thing I remember from Year 12 English class.
What have we got next, Cam?
Cassie has written in and she has said her guilty pleasure is Kesha.
Kesha.
Yeah, don't mind a bit of Kesha. Adam has said Simply Irresistible by Robert Palmer.
Irresistible.
Les has said New Kids on the Block and Bros. On your Lezo.
On your Lezo.
Amy has said anything by Kings of Leon and POD. I love Kings of Leon. Nothing to be guilty about there, Ames.
Yeah, jinx. Next, we've got Chris Cam.
Chris has said Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. I'm sorry, but I can't change who I am. Never.
Don't change.
Ever change, Chris.
For you, don't change. For me.
For me.
What's the next line?
For
Me. Oh, that's it. Which also Grinspoon played last night. They
I wasn't
finished their main set.
expecting to do that.
Yeah, well, good work.
It threw me back last night a fair bit too with it would have been Hard Act to Follow and Don't Change. I remember both those songs played live on TV with Rove.
Oh, really?
I remember that because I used to tape them all the time.
Yeah.
I've probably still got the tape somewhere. We should get them out and have a movie night.
Oh, lovely.
Probably won't happen. JP has said Tay-Tay, bit of Taylor Swift. I've got to agree with that.
Yeah.
She's absolutely gorgeous. I love her.
Yeah. Her music, though, I'm not really a fan of. So, it's just me. It's just me. Hey, I'm sure it's not just me.
I like that song. I like that album. That was brilliant.
Okay.
I would have gone to see her. I didn't. Naomi, which spelt backwards is I Moan, has said, sorry.
That's, I think, Apple's bringing out a sex toy called the iMoan.
Oh, really?
No, I just made that up. But it works.
I'm excited. I was on half a... Naomi said, sorry, but I'm one of those people who gets Nickelback up in the charts when they release a new album.
Oh, there you go, Naomi.
I can see where Nickelback come from.
Yeah, Canada. Now, we've got some few more. Martin has... Paddle Pop line.
Streets.
Yes, there's streets ahead. Martin has said Stick 'em Up Punk by the Fun Lovin' Criminals.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, bit of Scooby Snacks.
What was that? That was Scooby Snacks.
Turn the wheel on.
You know what? I think people would have actually got what we were doing just there.
Andrew, and I do not agree with this. He said The End by The Doors. This is the end.
It's brilliant.
My only friend, the end. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
What about Nolene?
Nolene.
I'm begging her.
Nolene has said Spice Girls.
Oh, fuck yes.
Well, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Speaking of
Michael?
Michael has written in and he said Bananarama.
Bananarama? What the fuck's Bananarama? Oh, Bananarama.
Yes. Robert has said, uh-oh, we're in trouble. Something's come along and burst our bubble. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Trouble by Shampoo. Wow. And also The Day You Went Away by Wendy Matthews, but he says that doesn't count because it's freaking incredible.
It is incredible. I agree with that.
It's going to be one of the saddest songs ever, that one. That's
There's need you, cloudy new ship.
Well, it's terrible when you do it.
Yeah, it is.
Like that, but
you can see I feel it.
Oh, yeah, everyone feels it. Lauren's feeling it as well. And she's seen the Backstreet Boys, Bon Jovi, and the soundtrack to Labyrinth.
Oh, yeah.
Bit of Magic Dance.
All three of them are freaking awesome. I love the Labyrinth. That's one of the best movies ever made. David Bowie, man.
David Bowie with the socks down the front of his tights. He's just really enjoying those gargoyles.
I remember going to
Trolls. Really enjoying the Trolls.
I remember going to my mate's house as a kid and we watched it and he paused it at the point where David Bowie's standing there in his white tights and he's like, look at his dick. It's like, wow, that's crazy. I was more enthralled about the music, but
why are you pointing at his dick?
I don't know.
It's like, okay, good on you, mate.
It's like we're six, like.
But dance, baby, dance. Every time I chuck it on, Dad points out his dick. So I thought I'd show you.
Baby says.
I'm laughing. I'm going to say this completely ingenuine right now. I've never seen Labyrinth.
Oh, man.
I've never seen Labyrinth. The Dark Crystal. I haven't seen the Dark Crystal. They've done a Netflix series of that now. Dark Crystal's a series now. I haven't. My brother and sister have watched. I have not watched
both Jim Henson movies that are just absolutely brilliant. Steve, they got David Bowie in to do obviously the music, the whole soundtrack, everything for that. It just proves how much of an absolute genius he was.
Yeah.
He was only young as well. Like, I think he was early 30s at that time. So for a major motion picture to snap up someone and say, we want you to write this whole thing, it's got to be David Bowie or no one.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. He did it.
No one did it.
Absolutely smashed it.
Fantastic. And finally, we've got Dale, who says, I've been loving worship music lately, even though I do not follow any religion. Feels wrong, but the songs are so good. I'm going to be honest, I was not expecting anyone to say that when we put the question out there.
I can see where he's coming from, though. That music's made to bring people together and feel, at one with each other, and so holy and that. So it does give you a good feeling. Like, why not?
Exactly. Raise your hands.
Just don't go to the dark side, Dale.
Don't
go, man.
Yeah, don't
let him suck you in.
Or off. Now, finally, it's time for ours. And what have you got, Cam?
He'd have a hell of a time. My guilty pleasure, Steve.
Please go on. Yes, your guilty pleasure music.
It's got to be teeny bopper music.
Yeah,
I'm talking. Well, the main guys, Spice Girls, of course, Girl Power.
Yeah,
freaking like. We were listening to it the other day with the kids, and I knew every single word still.
Yeah.
I had an obsession with them in grade 5 and 6. I had a complete, it would have been about 2 meters by 1 meter picture collage of all Spice Girls stuff that I made. Yeah. Absolutely loved them. In love with Baby Spice. Love me blondes.
Oh, yes.
Even though I'd do any of them. Stop right now. They're giving me. And I'm talking like Bewitched, like
Bewitched,
S Club
C'est La
7.
Vie.
Yeah, S Club 7. Like, S Club gonna show 'em. I had that song stuck in my head the other day. God. I did.
I don't even remember that one. Aren't they like S Club 2 now? Didn't they just keep reducing and then getting new members and then pissing them off?
I think there was a teeny bopper tour with those, Bewitched and
Aqua.
Yeah, Aqua.
Were you into Aqua?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dr. Jones.
Calling Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, wake up now. Barbie Girl, Lou Bega, Mambo number 5, Macarena.
Yeah, you were a Macarena. Were you a Ketchup song or no? That was just. You remember the Ketchup song?
Ketchup song.
I said I hit. Yeah. God, what have we done to our show?
But we're talking about guilty pleasures.
Exactly.
So that's got to be me, Steve. The teeny bopper era was right before I discovered, the Presidents and the Living End and all those bands, and that really got me going.
Quite a contrast
into music. Yeah. Well, when I realised there was really good music, that probably helped.
Yeah.
All that stuff's obviously aimed at that age a lot, so it speaks to you. Like, my kids are in teeny bopper shit now, and I'll let them.
Yeah,
I'll let them. But they're they know their Queen and their Beatles. They're the foundation.
Exactly, absolutely. Without them, we are nothing.
Exactly, as Greta would say. Now, Steve, what's your guilty pleasure music?
Is listening to good music just whilst I'm polluting the oceans. That's my guilty pleasure music. My guilty pleasure...
While ripping Glad Rap off a roll just for the fun of it.
Sticking it down my pants, just like David Bowie. My guilty pleasure music, the album, is actually the album that was forced upon every single iTunes user. The U2 album that Apple got. You know what? I don't agree with what they did. I don't agree with any of the marketing around it at all. I really like that album. A lot of people don't like the album, and a lot of people just didn't like it because of how it was.
It copped a bad rap because of how they brought it out. Yeah,
exactly. And so people were going into that album with a negative light, and then if the hooks don't get them, well, then fuck it, I'm never going to listen to it, and I hate it.
Whereas genuinely, it could have been their favourite album.
I really like it.
Yeah.
It's a hark back to their older stuff. But the thing is, I think saying that you're a U2 fan these days is almost like people look at you like, oh, you're a wanker. I don't know. I like them, and I do like that album. Their most recent album, I think, is pretty bad. It's sort of all over the place. But, yeah, I like Songs of Innocence, which is the album for Snare One. And, I'm going to say I like you too, even though, yeah.
That's a good answer, Steve. I wasn't expecting that. That's very creative. Like, it's probably good music, just shit how they did it. So you feel guilty about how they did it and liking it.
Yeah.
I like that. Well done, Steve.
Thank you very much, Cam. But we've got to think forward to our next question, and we've been talking about a lot of these. We just saw Grinspoon, Jebediah, UMI. Look at some of these festival lineups we've been talking about.
Yeah, you've got your Unwritten Laws, bloody Evercleave. Or the Southern Stars gig, Steve, with the likes of Bush and Live. All those Stone Temple Pilots.
Yep.
Just real 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And what we want to know, Steve, which I think is a brilliant question this week, because 90s is pretty strong in the music industry at the moment, it would seem, with all these tours. What song best represents the 1990s?
Yes.
For you? Well, when you hear a song, you go, this is 90s, man.
Oh,
this is 90s. I want to know, what's the 90s to you?
Yeah.
Is it Back in Black? Oh, that's 80s.
That was 80s. That was 1980.
but Triple M played it the most in the 90s.
Yes. Yeah, and your favourite song from the 90s doesn't even have to be from the 90s.
It honestly doesn't.
If you think...
It can be 89. It's close enough.
Yeah, if you think a certain song represents that decade, I don't know, maybe a bit of Kenny G.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of Kenny G. Maybe a bit of, I don't know, Nirvana. Maybe I'm just because I'm wearing a Nirvana shirt. That's the first thing I could think of. Maybe a bit of some of the teeny bopper stuff that Cam was into.
Well,
is that what you think of?
Spice Girls were huge.
Absolutely, a lot of bands. So
on your Spices.
We'd love to hear what you think. What song best represents the 1990s?
Now, Steve, it is time.
Yes.
For new.
Yes.
Music.
Oh. Yes, it is.
Got some bangers on today, Steve. What's first?
Our first song tonight, Cam, is a song called Shade by Jack Billman.
Yes, that's right, Steve.
Yes. Now, this is his latest single, and I really like this. It's really bluesy.
We like our bluesy guitars,
We do like our bluesy guitars. Now, Jack has played with some big names, Cam. I mean, we're talking about the likes of John Farnham, the Cat Empire, Tash Sultana, and even Jay from Frenzal Rhomb.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now, last year we released his single, The Hills Have Eyes, which did really well, and the song debuted at number 1 on the Australian iTunes charts, which was pretty huge, and there was a 26-day national tour, which sold out a lot of the shows. Now, he is playing an East Coast tour this November, so if you'd like to check out tickets, head to jackbillman.com. But right now, Cam, let's listen to Shade by Jack Billman.
Throwing rocks in the river to get me through the day. I don't want to make a splash. The ripple right away like a rolling stone. Do what I can to take a step back and try and meet my own demands. The sun don't shine in the shade. The sun don't shine in the shade. The sun don't shine in the shade.
That was Shade by Jack Billman. Up next, we've got Coast to Coast by Tim Smythe and Holy Trash.
Yeah.
Now, these guys are local rockers to us. They're from Nyora.
Yeah.
Out Bushway.
Out Bushway.
Absolute legends. So Tim Smythe and Holy Trash are back with their latest track, Coast to Coast. Tim has been releasing a number of standalone singles throughout the last couple of years or so, hasn't he, Steve?
Oh, yes, yeah.
And his latest track is fucking awesome. Coast to Coast. I feel it, Steve.
Yep.
I feel it. And I feel myself. I find myself.
Yeah.
I don't feel myself.
Oh, you got to check for lumps.
Give myself a mammogram in the shower every now and then. But I find myself humming this tune a lot, just getting caught up in my head.
It's got a good hook.
Yeah, I really like his ambient guitar and the chilled out vibe to the whole song. I also love the drummer. The drummer, Jared, I've seen him in bands over the years, and he's got to be one of my favourite drummers I've ever seen live. He just feels it.
Yeah.
And when he feels it, I feel it. And
Yeah.
that's what I love about live music.
We got to feel it, Cam.
Exactly. All the feels. He likes to try various different sounds in his music, doesn't he, Steve?
Yeah.
And, trying different genres. So I'm looking forward to see what Tim and Holy Trash come out with next. So let's check out Coast to Coast by Tim Smythe and Holy Trash.
My merry-go-round me slowly, wrap me round the twist. My eyes keep thinking and my mouth keeps sweeping like this, just like this, just like this, just like this.
That was Coast to Coast by Tim Smythe and Holy Trash. Our next track, Cam, is Sucker for Pain by the Crookeds.
Yes.
Yes, now, Melbourne-based four-piece rock band The Crookeds have released their brand new single, Sucker for Pain, which is available now through Golden Robot Records. Now, 2018 saw the band release 2 singles and a number of sold-out shows and an East Coast tour. They're back with this new song, which I really like, and it may just be me, but I kind of get a Nothing But Thieves vibe from this
Yeah,
song.
totally.
I don't know, it's
I feel ya.
there, but it's not, but it's there. So this is their new song, Sucker for Pain by The Crookeds.
You tell me don't change now. You tell me you're afraid now. Ooh, wake me up, please, and tell me it's a dream. 'Cause I've had enough. I wanna hear restart. It's all coming down. Hope we can make it out. Gotta read the signs. Or lose my mind. It's out of control. It's all over. You make me this way. I never get enough. And I'm a sucker for pain.
That was Sucker for Pain by the Crookeds. Up next, we've got our boys from King Coyote.
Yes.
With their song Coca-Cola. We spoke to Sonny the other day. We had an interview with Sonny from King Coyote.
They just supported Grinspoon as well.
They certainly did, so make sure you check out that interview. But they're Port Macquarie rockers, King Coyote. They've just released their brand new single Coca-Cola, which we speak about in the interview.
Yep.
And do a little bit of a snippet of it. But we're going to do a bit of a stippet. Stippet?
A Stippet?
A stippet now, Steve.
It sounds like you need a nice, cool glass of Coca-Cola
I do.
to clear your mouth.
I'm a Pepsi man.
Are you?
It's taken from the upcoming Wild EP, which is set to be released on November the 1st. This song's quite rock and roll, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Rocks our socks off. It's what we're all about here at Garage Rock, the podcast. Without further ado, Steve, let's have a listen to Coca-Cola by King Coyote.
I like milk, she drinks black. You need another minute, come on. I like Coca, but she likes cola. We need another minute, come on. I turn my head the other way, next thing she's gone. I need another minute, come on. I turn my head the other way, next thing she's gone. But it's funny how you still my picture in your pocket. We're going down that well. I don't wanna stop it. And it's cool a little bit. You know I'll be flying. Now turn around, girl. I'm gone.
That was Coca-Cola by King Coyote. Our next track, Cam,
Is.
by your favourite breakfast cereal. Cereal? Breakfast food.
Yeah.
The Psychedelic Porn Crumpets.
Oh, mate.
They're back, the Perth Psych Rockers. They've got their new single called Mundungus.
Mandinga.
Mandinga, Mundunga. They do have quite a lot of interesting names for their songs.
They certainly do.
And also their album, which was called And Now for the Whatchamacallit, which came out back in May. And now they've released this brand new track, which isn't even on that album. So they're still writing, even though they've just released an album.
They're just smashing it out. It's like they got the toaster on repeat, just pumping out those crumpets.
Pumping out the crumpets, man, and the porn. Now, I really like this track. It's short and sweet, but it's got a great up-tempo feel to it and a really catchy hook with the guitars, and it's just pure porn crumpety goodness. So, without further ado, this is Mundungus by Psychedelic Porn Crumpets.
That was Mundungus by Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. Up next, we've got Economy of Death by Refused, Steve.
Yes.
I wanted to play a bit more, but you refused. But no, I'm talking about Swedish hardcore punk legends, Refused. They've released their new song, Economy of Death, which is their third single from their fifth studio album, Steve. That's 5 albums they've had.
Count them all on one hand, Cam.
The album's called War Music, which will be released on October 18th. These guys are one of the most influential punk bands in the noughties, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not just my words.
No.
With the bands like Linkin Park, Rise Against, Blink 182, did I mention Oversaw? Yeah, I saw them recently.
Yeah, did you?
And AFI, amongst others, to credit them as an influence on their music. Which is a big freaking call, Steve. Like, there's some big names right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
The song is fucking rocking, Steve.
Yeah.
It's just raw power, raw guitar. Let's check out Economy of Death by Refused.
That was Economy of Death by Refused, and that brings our new music to a close, Cam.
I just want to say a big thank you to Stephen for doing a flamboyant cough while that song was playing. It was absolutely brilliant. You poofter.
A flamboyant cough. It was flamboyant.
Flamboyant,
cough.
yes. That was unbelievable. Your eyes are popping out of your head. We got to get you home to Betty Boys.
I do. I had a nap before I came here, Cam. We're getting too old. Getting too old for this shizzle.
I know.
Oh, but
that's what happens when you start a new job. You can't be taking days off when you just started.
Exactly.
Don't burn candle at both ends.
No, otherwise you get your fingers burnt. I don't know. I don't even know.
We're rambling. We're tired. We're going.
Definitely tired. Okay. Listen to us again.
Yeah,
do it. And if you want to hit us up on the socials, do it. And if you want to hit us an email, garagerockpodcast@gmail.do it. And if you got anything to say, Cam?
Steve's seen the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, I'm about to pass out.
Which is leading to his bed. And good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.